The Buffalo Bills are riding one of the longest home winning streaks in franchise history. Josh Allen continues to find the end zone every single week, and Sean McDermott has never lost to the Miami Dolphins. But behind all of these historic numbers, real problems are building, problems that could derail this season if they aren't fixed fast. Week 3 against the Dolphins wasn't just another win, it was another statement. The Bills didn't just beat Miami, they extended their dominance in a way that's becoming historic. With that victory, Buffalo locked in their 13th straight home win, one of the longest streaks this franchise has ever seen. Josh Allen added another touchdown to his record, keeping his personal scoring streak alive every single week this season. Sean McDermott? He's now 10-0 against the Dolphins, a perfect record that keeps reminding the division who's in charge. And let's not forget the defense. The turnover streak continues, proving this unit knows how to flip games when it matters most. These aren't just numbers on a stat sheet. They're milestones that define a team chasing greatness, and a fan base that knows what history looks like when it's happening in real time. The Bills aren't just winning games, they're also getting healthier at the right time. Matt Milano is trending in the right direction, and Ed Oliver is already out of the boot. Both are pushing to get back into the lineup soon, and that alone could lift this defense to another level. But it doesn't stop there. Rookie Maxwell Harrison is working his way off injured reserve, and once he returns, his speed becomes another weapon for this secondary. Add those reinforcements to a defense that's already creating turnovers, and suddenly the Bills have the depth and firepower to control games deep into the season. This isn't just recovery. It's momentum, and Buffalo is stacking it at the perfect moment. While injuries have tested the roster, the Bills have adjusted with creativity. One of the biggest shifts this year has been the way they're using their tight ends and blocking personnel. Instead of relying on a single player, Buffalo has leaned into what feels like a four-headed snake: Dawson Knox, Dalton Kincaid, Reggie Gilliam, and Quinton Morris all bringing different looks and roles. Even Tyrell Shavers has been mixed in to give defenses another wrinkle. And at the center of all this, Dalton Kincaid looks ready to break out. His versatility is opening up options across the field, and if he keeps building on this momentum, he could become one of the biggest difference makers in Buffalo's offense as the season unfolds. But not everything is clicking for Buffalo. For all the offensive creativity and the record-setting streaks, there's a major concern brewing on the other side of the ball. The defensive line, a unit built to dominate, has too often disappeared when the Bills need it most. In Week 1, it was shaky. By Week 3 against Miami, it was flat-out alarming. This is where the spotlight shifts to Greg Rousseau. A player expected to take the next step as a cornerstone pass rusher has instead struggled to make his presence felt. Fans and coaches alike are starting to wonder, is this just a slow start, or a bigger problem? The biggest red flag so far has been the defensive line, and Gregory Rousseau is right at the center of it. After landing a major contract extension, expectations were sky-high for him to anchor this pass rush. Instead, the results have been disappointing. Through 3 games, Rousseau has struggled to show real growth in his technique. Too often he leans only on his athleticism, and against Miami, it was glaring. The Dolphins had already given up 8 sacks in their first 2 weeks, yet the Bills couldn't bring down Tua Tagovailoa a single time in Week 3. Rousseau generated some pressures, but not the kind of impact that changes a game. Meanwhile, Joey Bosa, another key piece up front, wasn't much better. He finished with just 1 pressure and, despite playing 87% of the snaps, was mostly invisible. That snap count is another issue in itself. Relying on Bosa to carry that much of the load this early in the season is dangerous, and Sean McDermott has already admitted it can't continue. When you combine underwhelming production from Rousseau with the risk of overworking Bosa, the picture isn't encouraging. The Bills can't afford a defensive line that wears down before the stretch run. Long-term health and consistency up front will be critical if Buffalo wants to turn early season momentum into a true playoff push. It hasn't helped that the Bills are still waiting on contributions from their younger players. Third-round pick Landon Jackson, for example, has yet to see the field in his rookie year. Sean McDermott has suggested he's close to suiting up, but the reality is simple: Buffalo needs more reliable depth behind Rousseau, Bosa, and Epenesa. Right now, that rotation feels thin, and when starters fail to deliver, the cracks show fast. The good news is help is on the horizon. Linebacker Matt Milano and defensive tackle Ed Oliver are both trending in the right direction, Milano progressing from injury and Oliver already out of the boot. Their return would instantly boost both run support and pass rush. On top of that, rookie cornerback Maxwell Harrison could be back as early as Week 5 against the Patriots, a matchup that would mark his official debut in rivalry colors. And then, of course, there's more veteran muscle waiting in the wings. Defensive linemen Larry Ogunjobi and Michael Hoy are suspended for the first 6 games but will return in Week 7. Adding proven veterans to the rotation could be the difference between a defense that burns out early and one that hits its stride down the stretch. For now, Bosa may have to shoulder more snaps than ideal, but with reinforcements lining up, there's legitimate hope the defensive front will look much different, and much stronger, by mid-season. So, where do things really stand for Buffalo? On one hand, the Bills are sitting on a wave of historic momentum, 13 straight home wins, Josh Allen continuing his touchdown streak, and Sean McDermott's spotless record against Miami. Those are not just numbers, they're signs of a team that knows how to win. But on the other hand, the cracks are impossible to ignore. A defensive line that looks worn down 3 weeks into the season. A $80 million investment in Greg Rousseau that hasn't paid off yet. And Joey Bosa, playing nearly every snap, is one injury away from leaving the front 7 exposed. Week 4 against the New Orleans Saints now looms as more than just another game on the schedule. It's a test of whether Buffalo can carry their winning streak while tightening up the areas that could undo them later. The Saints aren't Miami, but they have enough weapons to punish a defense that doesn't get home to the quarterback. The Bills Mafia has lived through dominant stretches before, only to see small flaws snowball in the biggest moments. That's the question hanging over this season: can Buffalo fix its issues before they become fatal? Or are we watching the early signs of another, what could have been, campaign?